Hello, this is Debra Carmona with another card making video. In today's video, I want to address some problems that I've run into with equipment, things that are now outdated. Outdated stamps, outdated die cuts, outdated tools. If you've ever been with any company for any length of time, eventually there are going to be changes. Sometimes those changes are for the good. Sometimes products get smarter. Sometimes they get better. But if you've already invested a good sum of money in the old equipment, you don't want to just discard it all and start all over, because that is wasteful in itself. I'm going to talk about some of the problems that I've run into with some issues that I've had with some products that just don't work as well and ways to overcome it. I'm going to give you some alternatives that will save you money as you build up your stamp making center. Obviously, there are certain tools you have to have, like a good pair of scissors with a nice sharp point that are very comfortable to use. This is an absolute must. The very basic tool you have to have. But there are other tools that are useful to make the job easier. Sometimes you can't afford a tool. There are some cheaper things you can use that'll work until you can afford the better tools that make things move faster or make the job easier. That's the subject of today's video. First of all, I want to say I am not a sales rep for Stampin' Up, but I do have a lot of Stampin' Up products because that's what I started with. And I have enjoyed them. I enjoy going to the monthly classes where I can learn new tricks. I like to carouse YouTube to see what everybody's doing and learn new card designs, learn some new tips, and get some creative ideas from others. I can't always have what they have. I look at some of these ladies that have been in the business for a long time, and they got these magnificent, beautiful IKEA studios. I just have my little humble corner. That's all it is. From here to the corner to the end of the bookshelf. That's all I have. And I don't have fancy equipment. I have two tables. They're just plastic folding tables. This table here has a skirt on it to hide the boxes for mailing and shipping and packaging. So that's hidden under the table. These are just two plastic folding tables that I probably picked up at either Walmart or Costco. I have a limited supply of papers. I have a limited supply of inks, but I have a broad range of colors. It's enough to do the job. I don't have to have the precise color. And I have limited supply of markers that work. I'm not totally really fond of markers, but I have found that they are useful for certain things. I have colored pencils, I have watercolor pencils, I have an assortment of glues, and this shelf right here, I got it for free. Somebody was going to throw it away. And they said, could you make use of it? And I said, oh, I sure could. I had to buy the little shelf holders, the little pegs, and I found them on Amazon. Somebody gave me this little box because they were getting rid of it, and I keep some stamps in here. And so that was free. This shelf, I've had it forever, but I like the green color, and I thought, oh, you know, a lot of Stampin' Up stuff is kind of green, so I got me a green lamp. You know, I try to make my area cute. I made that little shelf up there, and I covered it with paper to bring the green color in, and I have a bulletin board where I keep kind of inspirational things and pictures of my kids and my calendar and my checklist. A checklist, so when I know that I've made the card, I've got a gift, I sent the card. And so I have a checklist, and I have my calendar where I keep up with everybody's birthday and anniversary for my family. I'm not bashing Stampin' Up. I have a lot of their products. This is for making envelopes. This is for cutting paper. This is for my die cuts and my embossing folder. And I have all of the blocks in this great carrying case so that I am prepared for any size stamp. So I have all the basic tools. I don't need to change to newer products. Stampin' Up! Keeps changing their product. Perhaps they're trying to come up with better products. Their newer stamps have this sticky back on them, so they hold really good on these blocks. But the older stamps that are rubber backed, they don't stick very well, and they may come off. So here is a little tip, double stick tape, and then it will hold, and then you can peel it off when you're done using it. Now, Stampin' Up! Had their older products would have the rubber stamps, and if you order it with the blocks, the rubber stamps, then you don't have a problem of them not sticking. I try to remember, but sometimes, you know, you'd forget, or this I got as a bargain, so it didn't come with it, and so the person who bought it, they stick the stickers on the back of the stamp itself, so, but they don't stick good to these blocks very well. So I think that's why Stampin' Up! Came up with a better system, and I do like the clear, using the clear blocks. This takes up a lot more space on your shelf, whereas the cling stamps is a lot thinner, and I do like that. They are coming out with products that are smarter and take up less storage space, but I'm not going to throw away the old stuff. I'm going to keep using it, even though I don't have the die cuts. I can cut these out with scissors. Sometimes I will cut them out as little squares. I have these colored. I'm not cutting them out because I just purchased the die cuts that finally came out. I have been using my chickens because I do raise chickens, and I like to make cards and fun little cards with chickens, because when my grandkids come, they usually like to spend time with my chickens, feeding them or watching them, and so I like to make cards with chickens in them for my grandkids. And so since I use these quite a bit and I've had a lot of fun in my chicken cards, I decided that I will go ahead and I will buy the die cuts so that I don't have to take the time and cut them all out like I have been doing. So it is a wise idea that if you're going to buy a stamp, buy the die cut with it so that you have the set. Or you'll have to go to the old-fashioned way and do it with scissors. I work on a glass surface that came out of a picture frame that it got a crack in it, and so I put clear tape on the other side to hold it together. It also has a crack right here. There's a crack right here, but I don't want to just throw it away. I used a piece of decorative duct tape around the edge, and I have taped it to a piece of foam core on the backing. And this is my workspace. I do like using glass because if I get any glue, I can use a straight edge razor blade and I can just clean it like this. I can clean up any glue marks. So that's a tip that you can use. Now, Stampin' Up! Has come out with this little silicone thing that if you do all your gluing on here, you can rub the glue off, or if you forget to wash it off right away, you can take it to the sink and with very warm water you can get all of the glue off of it. So this is a wonderful tool, but if you don't have it, a glass surface can be a great tool to do your gluing on, because the glue doesn't take that long to dry and it's easy to clean up with a straight edge razor blade. Just keep your razor blade in a safe place. This is another Stampin' Up! Tool. That is where this is useful. But if you can't afford that, I keep a little pin handy, and I can punch out that tool makes it faster, but you can just keep a big pin. You can use this, or you can use this, a long pin. And I stick it in a basket. It's always right there. So if ever I need it, and I use it a lot. All right, let's talk embossing folders. I have 3 piles. This pile are older models of Stampin' Up. This pile, newer embossing folders from Stampin' Up. And this pile came from Amazon. With my Amazon, I've got some that are very thin, and I have some that are really thick. It's a lot thicker. And all of the older from Stampin' Up are thin. These are all of the same thickness. They're very thin. And they worked fine with the Big Shot machine. Stampin' Up no longer sells this machine. They now have a new machine. And their new embossing folders are really, really thick. So I have trouble with using these on the die cut machine. I want to pick a design here. The different plates that come with it. This one is for die cuts. You have this is for embossing folder. Okay, so I switch to that, and normally you do this. You put one plate on. This is the top with this stamp on it. Okay, so we put our paper in, and we put it in here. And then we put the plate on top. This is how we've always done it, but watch what happens. It's too thick. It won't fit. Okay. So let me try this. Will this work? Okay, that works. Sometimes you have to adjust. Now I hope it's good. I'm going to run that through a second time because I'm afraid it might not be as good. Let's see how it did. Okay, it did pretty decent. It gave me a good design. Now, I do sometimes with certain folders, when it doesn't work good, I have to adjust the thickness of what I'm doing here. The old version with a new embossing folder. Okay, see, that's too thick. That won't work. This is supposed to be for the embossing folder. This is going to be not thick enough. I don't feel the pressure. Okay, that's not thick enough. It scares me. Let me start on this end. See if it'll be any better. I'm scared that I'm going to break my machine. I think I got it. Yeah, that feels like it's much better. Alright, let's see how we did. Yes, I have come up with a solution that is a whole lot better. I don't know if you can see the texture. So, my solution is this. So, I will add that to my collection of bases so that I can find the right combination. I always keep the magnetic one and the 2 plates on the machine, and when I store it, I usually all the way to the middle, and I store it. So these, my tag board is my newest tool to help me to create the proper sandwich, so whatever and wherever I get my embossing folders, I can make it work for me so that I can get a good impression. So, that is another issue with Stampin' Up. They do have a new machine. The new machine works with these thick embossing folders. So if you do buy the new machine, it will work with the new. I am going to stick with the old, and I will make the old work for me. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you would be so kind as to give me a thumbs up if you found this video was useful to you, and subscribe to get more from my channel. I do warn you, My channel is kind of like all over the place. It's not just one subject, so if you do give me a thumbs up, it really helps my algorithms. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.